After the clinch, 3-game losing streak, Denver bench, giving it all they can to the Lakers. But I'm happy for. There's a lot I want to talk about, but I want to start with Kuz because he got the start tonight. No KCP. That's it, Eddie. Played a lot of minutes, got a lot of opportunities, 25 points. We think it's his first game winner. We were trying to think of maybe the last time he had one, Rob and James. This was nice because they ran a play for Kuz. And he set his feet, James, and he buried it. Let's take a look at it and break it down for us here.
Yeah, I thought it was a great play called by Coach out of bounds. I mean, everyone expected LeBron or AD, and they put Kuz in a situation where he couldn't be guarded. Setting a pick for LeBron. Plumlee had no idea what to do when that split came, and AD did a great thing of being patient, waiting for it. Here it is right here. Goes in. Now watch LeBron come off of that, and then Plumlee had to help out on LeBron, and Kuz just came off of that. Real nice. AD waited for him. Wide open shot. And that is, that third guy. He might not be there quite yet, but he's making steps on being a big three. And when you get called play for you, when you have AD and LeBron and he calls a play for you, that's a lot of confidence and from your coach, who has already stated that Kuz was the guy in the bubble that was playing the best ball. And so he's outstanding job.
Rob, I'm going to come back to you in a second. Let's hear from Kuz. He's with Mike Trudell.
All right, Kyle Kuzma, take us through what you saw on that last possession, what you were looking for, and then your feeling once the ball got out of your fingers.
It was a play that we ran in practice a few times, and coach just called it for me. Funny part is I told Rook calling game, I hit it, so it was pretty funny.
Did you notice your mom watching from the virtual fan area? The virtual fan area.
I did. Yeah, I saw my mom and my brother.
Kuzma, is it fitting the way that shot goes down, just considering your bubble experience? Vogel talked about how good you were in the practices. You've obviously upped your level of play in the seeding games, so I imagine that had to feel good.
Yeah, it felt good. It's just a lot of work that I put in during the quarantine, and it kind of just paid off. I continue to stay with it, try to get better every day, and results like that happen.
What's working best for you, whether it's with the starting group, whether it's closing games with LeBron, AD? What's working best, Kuz? What's working best, Kuz?
Just trying to get after defensively. That's my calling card for this team right now, and the way that I can impact the ball, impact the game without really scoring. So if I can continue to defend and try to play off these guys and play within myself, then it's good. It's good for me and good for the team.
Final thing for you, most important for you and the team as you guys approach the playoffs. Just one more game to go here.
We just got to create good habits. That's the biggest thing. If we can continue to just, play the right way, get stops defensively, play as a team, then, that's...
Hell yeah!
I mean, yeah, he got it. There we go. Yeah.
LeBron took care of it for you there, Kuz. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yep.
Big game's on fire tonight. He called the missed free throw. He then said Kuz for the game winner before he did it. So that was good stuff by you. Big game. But let's talk about Kuz and weigh in there on Kuz's shot at the end and what you saw from him tonight.
The best thing for a player that's not number one or number two is to use a top guy. And right there on that screen, Kuz actually was going to set a back pick for LeBron. And everybody in the building know LeBron is the man, AD is the man. So he slipped the screen and went to the corner for a three. And as you can see in the interview, he says he's been working on it in practice. That lets you know when a coach calls your play, it has a lot of confidence. It's not just for this game. It's for all the way down the line, not at the end of the game, but during the game. Right now, he knows that his teammates have a lot of confidence, and more importantly, that his coach has a lot of confidence. So this is a big boost. This is a huge boost for him going throughout the rest of these playoffs. So I'm excited for him now.
Yeah, I think you're excited for him also because of his path this year, James, right? All the young guys are gone. Kuz is the one left. He's coming off of a great couple of years. Everyone has such high hopes. Big three, starts the season off injured, then he's coming off the bench. He's trying to find his role. He's now third, fourth, some nights fifth in line in terms of getting your shots up, getting minutes. Big game, James. He struggled defensively. A lot of pressure on him, right? Gets a spotlight on him. So it's nice to see him come back in the bubble this focused and playing this well, because I thought a lot of that stuff that was on him was unrealistic. Rob even said it on our air. Like, you got to understand the pecking order.
Yeah.
He's now part of a championship team. You got to fill a role. It's not about being a star yet.
And it wasn't fair to him. You know, after Ball left, and Ingram left, Randall left, he was immediately put under the microscope because everyone wanted him to be the third guy. And he was on his way making progress. Injured in the summer, you know, injured when he came back, you know, up and down. But one thing he did is he kept the faith. He kept his head on the grind, kept working on his game, and then he learned something, what you just said. He learned that there's two other players here and even some other veteran players that have been around the league. How can I fit in? Let me start playing some defense. Let me start doing some other things that are required for me if I'm going to be that third guy. You know he has the offense. Offense is not a problem for him. He just has to figure out how not to rush it, let the game come to him. Now the coaches see that they can call plays for him. LeBron, AD, it's nice to be unpredictable when they have that third guy. Like I said, he's not quite there yet, but he is on his way to being very productive and a huge threat on this team as a starter or whether he comes off the bench.
And Robbie's playing the all-around game. He gets a couple steals, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 for 5 from 3. I mean, I don't know what else you could want from a guy of his age in his 4th year in this league.
You know, especially for one of the things that we harped on in the beginning of his career, his defense. And you want to see a guy improve little by little throughout his career. And he's doing that not just offensively, but defensively. Tonight, he was getting up in guys and, you know, forcing turnovers there and not giving up. You see before where he looked like he didn't know how to play defense, but he's working on the game. That's a sign of maturity. That's a sign of a guy who wants to be a top dog in his league. Like he said before, he is a pecking order and he's waiting his turn. But who says you can't feast on a night when those guys are feasting too? You can always sit at the head table also. Yeah,
by the way, I said 4th year, 3rd year in the league. Lakers gearing up for the playoffs. You can tell the last couple of games, James. You tell by the minutes LeBron and AD played because they were talking about it during the broadcast, Billy and Stu. I mean, the Nuggets were sitting their starters a lot there in the 4th quarter. You know, Lakers have a really early game on Thursday. I can't imagine you're going to see much from AD and LeBron. So really, James, the next time they're playing heavy minutes, it'll be playoff time in about 8 days.
And
you
I
had to give him a run tonight.
And I think this game was good to give them some minutes, to give them some run.
Against a good team.
Against Denver, who is a really good offensive team, shooting over 50% from the field and 3. They challenged the Lakers, and that's something that they'll look at tonight's game. They'll see how they gave up some easy buckets. The defense was good when it needed to be, but offensively, they played with energy, starting with AD, and that's a good thing.
Defense wasn't great for either team, right? Are you surprised by that when both teams are pretty much got their eyes on one thing, and that's a week from now?
I think sometimes basketball players of this day and age, they don't really think defense. They're thinking of how can I get ready for the playoff? I need to work on my offensive game. I need to do things to get me tuned in or dialed in for that situation. But the defense wasn't there, but you can see guys moving on rotation at points. So there are times when you say, okay, that's good rotation. That's good box out right there. You know, you had the one moment where Caruso was boxing out, he had a bad bounce nigga, but you see the effort is there. So it's easy to turn that dial up and say, guys, this is how we're going to play defensively and work on that. But offense, I love the fact that they got into a groove. And to me, that was the reason I was panicking, because their offense didn't look like it was flowing at all. But tonight it did.
Yeah, and they were, we showed it in the pregame show. They were ranking last in a bunch of categories. 3-point shooting, we've talked a ton about that. That was better tonight. 14 of 29, 48%. Balanced scoring for the Lakers tonight, which is key. Dion Waiters with 12 points. Danny Green, nice to see him hit a couple of threes. He had 11. Kyle Kuzma with 25. AD 27 and LeBron 29. What do you like about that?
You know, the guy that is not even up there, you know, I love the most. He was a plus 21 night. That was Alex Caruso. And we talk about good defense and presence on the floor. When he's on the floor, he's always doing something positive, a plus 21. You know, Dion Waiters had 12 points in the first half. He didn't score anything in the second half. But still, though, when you score in the first half, you make people aware of you. Now, this opens up an opportunity for AD, LeBron, and Kuz and things of that nature. So, and also,
124 to 121. The Lakers are now 52 and 18. One more game to go before the playoffs. LeBron with 29 and 12 assists. Only 1 rebound. He got that rebound late. Would have been only the 4th time in his career he didn't get any rebounds. Anthony Davis, 27 and 6 and 5. Kuz with 25 and 6. Let's head back to Orlando. Frank Vogel speaking with Mike Trudell in the media via Zoom.
Zoom.
Hey, Frank, what made you want to go to Kuz in that situation? And it was a play that he said you guys had been working on in practice. So I want to know your thought process there before that game winner.
Well, Kuz is an option for us. In scrimmages since the restart, he made several end-of-game big shots just like he did tonight. And, it's important to have a third target out there. So, we knew that, some of our sets we may go to in that situation, we may not want to show in a game like this and hold for the playoffs. But Kuz is going to be an option in those situations. And, he executed the play really well. Bron made a great pass to AD. AD made a great read. And obviously, if they overcommit to Kuz on the back screen, Bron's open at the rim. And, Kuz has shown he can make that shot. He knocked down a big shot, won the game for us.
Frank, you were talking about how well Kuzma was playing even before the scrimmage games. We've seen that reflected in the seeding games now the last couple of weeks. How important do you think he can be for you as you enter the postseason after one more game?
Well, we're going to need all of our guys, but Kyle has that ability to really give length and athleticism and just a hard playing approach on the defensive end while being able to get hot offensively. We can't rely on our two big guns to carry the whole load. It's a team game, and he's continuing to make the right reads and make the right plays. I think there's been a big jump in that since the restart in his game from where he was at when we left off. So, he can be huge for us.
Hey, Frank, it's Dave. Two questions. One, how much familiarity does your group have with that ATO that you ran late? And also, does this give you any pause or consideration about keeping Kuz in the starting lineup moving forward?
I think it's unlikely that we keep him in a starting lineup. It's something I want to look at, something we have available with, depending on what matchup we're looking at, we're likely going to need two quick guards, the way most of these teams that we could be facing. It's a small ball league, so we're going to need speed, defensive speed on the perimeter. So, KCP and Danny is likely the starting lineup. But, again, you get in different matchups, their three-man is 6'10", and Michael Porter Jr. So, if you get into a matchup against Denver or against another team that is big like this, that could be an option for us. So it's just another part of the trial and error and evaluation of looking at different things during these seeding games.
Allie?
Great.
Vanya?
What are some ways that you've seen Kuz's teammates trusting him more over the last few weeks?
Well, it just, he's had more poise about his game, of late. And, obviously he's shooting the ball extremely well from the perimeter. So guys are looking for him on a three-point line. And when he's making plays, whether it's in pin downs or pick and rolls and two-man action, making solid reads, they can call his number more often and show more trust.
All right, guys, we welcome in Mike Bresnahan, social distancing while we watch the game, so I haven't had much time with you, Brez. How's it going? Give me some of the takeaways from the game.
Yeah, thanks for thinking of me. I really appreciate it. It's hard being 15 to 20 feet away from you, but thanks for the social distancing shout-out. Two things I really enjoyed about the Lakers tonight. First of all, Anthony Davis, much more aggressive from the outset. If you could compare his shot chart from tonight versus 2 days ago against Indiana, night and day, a lot more stuff in the paint tonight. By my count, 11 of his 15 shots came real close to the basket. The thing in the last game against Indiana, he took 4 threes. That's fine. He didn't make any of them. That's probably not so good. But he also had a lot of long twos against Indy. 4 by my count, either foot on the line or just inside the three-point line. There was no doubt tonight that AD was going to come out and show everyone what he can do down low. And keep in mind, a lot of that was in the first half when the Nuggets still had their starters out on the court. And also the three-point shooting for the Lakers. 48.3%. This is a fantastic development for them. You could sense Laker Nation exhaling a little bit. This is the best the Lakers have shot behind the arc since February 8th. That's like an eternity ago. 19 games ago was the last time they were that proficient behind the arc. Obviously, Kuz with the big one, the dagger to end the game pretty much. LeBron, he was hot tonight, 5 of 11. Also, Danny Green did some good things. 3 threes, took that game off with that sore hip. maybe he's back, because he was 4 of 20 behind the arc in the bubble games coming into tonight.
And Brez, guys who needed to hit some threes, hit them tonight.
Really
in terms of Danny Green, we got Markieff Morris hitting one, Dion Waiters, who was cold from 3. Even LeBron had his game with 4 threes.
Yeah,
actually 5.
You know, they'll take it where they can at this point. When you're last in the bubble, 22 out of 22 in three-point shooting, coming into tonight's game at 25%. Hey, even if you know, Markieff Morris is 7 for 7 from three-point range, let him shoot. You got to find someone who can be consistent. And this, by the way, is pretty good consistency right here. You got to like the numbers there. No KCP tonight. Keep that in mind. He's another guy that kind of needs to get back on track. His three-point touch has not been good in the bubble, right around 20%, kind of like Danny Green. But, of course, Green tonight is going to up that percentage a little bit. Maybe the Lakers can move up a little bit from 22nd in the bubble behind the arc. Because, remember, in the playoffs, you want to have some easy buckets from time to time. They've had anything but, except for the last 2 games, finally starting to hit some stuff from deep.
All right.
So nice to look. Whoa, Lord have mercy. I don't want to deal with that.
Well,
how you go from Kuz to
so
that?
that's how big game. That's how LeBron came to the game. So D Wade on TNT said, you know what? I can do that too.
I ain't commenting on that one. Rob, you can have that.
Well, you know, I would copy that, but I'm married now, so I don't need no.
I mean, people,
no problems.
Yeah, people go crazy.
Yeah, I don't need no problems. You hear that, Candace? I don't need no problems.
No. 6-pack.
Hold on, let me show you.
Take mine off right now. Well,
you go. You go.
No,
ahead.
you go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead.
You know, you got. You know.
You know what?
You're a
Time
vet.
for Access 360.
Yeah, let's go to that.
6-pack. You want to see a pony keg?
I enjoy my one ab. Go ahead.
All right, we got a little Access 360. You know, the great ones learn from their last game, and they go into the next game with a little bit better vision. So here we got an Access 360.
During the commercial break, comparing the 2 Access 360s, for
Yes.
those people that did see the pregame show, James was showing what AD needed to do. He was having bigger lanes than the one you showed, and he was just kind of settling for 3. So this tells you what? Big game. He was definitely more engaged and wanted to kind of get back to how we're used to seeing him play before the playoffs.
Yeah, trust me, you're going to have some games where you just don't have it, you know, but I think that wasn't his case. His case was not recognizing what he needed to do and also being a little bit more aggressive. So that's what happened tonight, and he did it in the paint first. When he gets in the paint first, everybody else gets a little taste. Waiters gets a little taste. Morris gets a little taste because he's dropping dimes, and, you know, that's the spacing was amazing. And so then he's in there to get offensive rebounds as well. So his attitude and his energy in tonight's game is what got not only himself involved, but it transferred to the rest of the players.
Good stuff. More to come on Access. Kyle Kuzma with the game winner. Finished with 25 in the win. We're back with more after the break. Here it is. Got it! Hey. All the vet guys, they understand what Kuz's process is, journey. They've all been there. You can tell there's some real joy for him.
Yeah, I mean, especially LeBron and AD, but you see the rest of his teammates, they know what he's been through. They know his frustrations. He was frustrated for a minute there where he wasn't sure whether he, you know, he should have been starring. He wanted to play a little bit more. Got through that, had to sit with himself. But, yeah, when you have teammates that are pulling for you, and when you listen to your teammates, the way they encourage you, and you believe in them, and you guys believe in one another, it's good chemistry.
29 points and 12 assists for LeBron. He's speaking with Mike and the media.
Hey, LeBron, Kuz said that during the huddle before that final play, he called game to rookie Talen Horton-Tucker. Not sure if you heard that, but does that surprise you, knowing Kuz and his level of confidence?
No, I didn't hear it, but it doesn't surprise me at all. You know, we've been running a lot of ATOs in the game situations in practice, and you know, Kuz has been the recipient of a lot of those actions, and tonight it paid off. Big time shot. I think big confidence booster for Kuz, and you know, to know that we have another option to go down the stretch when we need to.
You've said throughout the year that you've got confidence in Kuz and what his role in on this team has evolved. What have you made of his play in the bubble, and how do you think that could change things, if at all, as you guys get into the postseason games?
I think the best thing about I guess the time that we had off is Kuz got an opportunity to get healthy. You know, he was hampered with his foot injury, ankle injury throughout a lot of the season, so he was always playing catch up. Allowed himself to get healthy, and you know, he put a lot of work, and you know, his confidence is just soaring. He's playing some good ball, but more importantly, defensively, he's just been locked in. And just taking a challenge on any given night, no matter if it's his opponent or anyone scoring, it doesn't matter. He's taking a challenge, and that's a step in the right direction of his growth.
Hey, LeBron and Dave, obviously Kuz hit the big shot, but it started with you finding AD and AD handing it off to him, and obviously Frank had to give you guys that play. What have you seen from Frank in terms of his playbook and the technical stuff that he's given you to work with, and the stuff that maybe you'll be able to go even deeper into the playbook in the playoffs with?
Well, I mean, every game and every situation will have be different. So we have to be able to be multi-dimensional with our offense, with our defense, to be able to make things on the fly, change things up if need be. So tonight calls for that. It was a scrappy Denver team, and even though they didn't play a lot of their big guys, down the stretch, that team still is well coached. Mike Malone is one of my favorite, coaches, one of my favorite guys in the NBA. But to have that playbook, that arsenal, that array of plays that we know we can go to late in the game, it works well for our team, and that's why we practice it. That's why we talk about it, and that's where you go over it, so you can have it engulfed in your mind to when that situation arises, and you're able to just fall back on the training that you had with it.
Allie.
Taylor, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being playoff ready, where are you guys?
I don't know. I don't think we're at 10, and we shouldn't be at 10 because it's a different type of preparation that goes into a playoff game. You spend hours and hours on teams because you're going to be locked in with them at least for 4 games. Throughout a regular season or throughout these 8 games, you really just have maybe a day, maybe not even a full day, to just kind of lock in on the team, and then you start preparing for the next team. So me personally, as far as mentally, I'm not in playoff mode. Physically, I'm getting there. I feel like my legs are gotten better and better. My game has improved more and more. I'm getting more and more comfortable with the bubble. But as far as the mental side of it, I'm not there personally. I don't think our team is there personally, but we will be. It's a different type of mindset that you have to be in, and but you don't want to jump into it before you actually get there, because it takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort.
How do you get there?
Well, I mean, once we know who we're playing, obviously we're going to wait on that and see what happens. Then you start to lock in on your opponent. But you build good habits along the way. We have the habits, so we are ready for the playoffs. If the playoffs started tomorrow, we'd be ready for it, But as far as the mental side, you have to, and you can't really lock in on your opponent until you know your opponent. So there's another level to playoff basketball. But we've worked our habits throughout the whole season. And we've prepared ourselves for the playoffs, and we'll be ready for it when it comes.
Thank you. Tanisha?
Bill.
Bill sleep.
All right, then we're going to jump back and take Tanya on this end. Tanya?
So Allie Clifton back there asked Kuz about, I think Bol was near him, and she asked him about shooting over him, and Kuz said, I think Jesus could be in front of me and I'll still shoot. Is that the Kuz you know?
Do I have to answer that question? Kuz is a confident kid, confident young man, and I'm happy to have him on our side. You have that confidence, and he goes on and just plays. He's worked a lot, like I said. He's still young, and it's crazy. He's only in his 3rd year, but he's gotten better. His game is starting to slow down. He's starting to see the game at a pace which works not only for himself but works for our team. But confident player, and you got to have confidence to be able to take a shot like that and make it.
He's always had that confidence. Is he starting to earn your confidence? Not just yours, but his teammates' confidence, you think?
No, he's he's, in order for us to win a championship, he has to be our 3rd best player. And if I'm struggling or if AD's struggling, he has to be our 2nd best player, any given night. I mean, it's just, we can't win a championship if Kuz doesn't play well.
Okay, we're going to try Bill again, please.
Hey, you got me this time?
Yep.
Okay, sorry about that. LeBron, you guys have been pretty steadfast over these last several games that the things that weren't going right would eventually start going right. The shots would be falling and all of that. Was it important to have a game like this where you did shoot it well from three, where a lot of guys got going, where you had several guys off the bench contributing in different ways? Was it important to have one of those before the playoffs get here?
I don't want to say it was important, but we're a team that believe in the law of averages. We shot the ball extremely well this whole season, and we know it was only a matter of time before we got it going. You know, one thing about us, we're going to trust the pass, trust body movement, and when you're sharing the ball, there's always good energy behind that. We didn't take a lot of forced shots tonight from the exterior. A lot of them came off dribble penetration or just kickouts from the post or swing opportunities, early transition. Guys was just in a really good rhythm. So, but it was definitely great to see some of our shots from the exterior, go in tonight and even down the stretch. DG hit two big threes down the stretch. Obviously, Kuz was big. And then I try to, fill in and get a good feel for my shot as well. So it was definitely a good night for us on the perimeter.
All right, last two questions. Kyle Goon.
Hedging between Tanya's question and Bill's question, you talk about the importance of Kuz as your third best player. Was it important here in the bubble to have a game where you, Kuz, AD, all going on offense on one night, all scoring 25-plus points?
Well, we don't talk about that. We don't discuss it. We let the game dictate itself. Tonight was one of those games. It happened organically. It was not forced by not myself, not Kuz, and not AD. And we just tried to implement our imprint on the game. And was able to do that throughout 48 minutes.
And last question, Joe Barton.
You were talking about how the habits are there. And I was actually going to ask like the total opposite of that if the time away and now being here in the bubble had shown that any momentum you had built before the pandemic doesn't carry over, and it's kind of like a new season. You're kind of have to make whatever you're gonna do in the playoffs. You have to make it new.
So your question is, let me understand your question.
Do you feel that way? Do you feel like have you come to learn that this is basically a new short season? It's compared to
it's definitely a different season. Obviously, you pick back up on the habits that we built over the, 5 months, maybe 5 months. But it feels like a different season. Just because of the circumstances, everything, and pretty much in 2020 has felt different. And I've stated that before. Everything from on the floor to off the floor and everything in between. So, but we're here, and the playoffs is a little over a week away, and we look forward to the opportunity to get better. Throughout this week, we have one more game. We got a lot of film sessions. We got some practice time, and will we be the team that we want to be in game one of the first round? That we were, when we stopped. I don't think so, but I think we're going to be, we'll get better and better as the games go on. And as the first quarter go on, the second quarter, we start to get more and more feel. We're better in ball club. We got a lot of guys that have been in the postseason and has been a part of that type of atmosphere, even though it's not without fans. So that'll be different. But we know, playoff basketball is no mistakes. And when you make mistakes, teams make you pay for it, no matter if it's the first round, second, conference finals, or finals. So have to be locked in. And there's no, the best thing about it here, there's no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no distractions. There's no distractions.
I liked what LeBron said. For us to win a championship, Kuz has to be a big part of it. Has to be our third best player. And if I'm not right or AD's not right, he's got to be our second best player. He sent a message also to Kuz, not only that we have confidence in him, but we're going to rely on you. I like it, Big Game.
And he's sending it at the right time. It's the first time I've ever heard him say that.
Me too.
Because he knows that he's seen the elevation, see him evolve as a player. He's watched Kuz. And so now he knows he's ready for that. So when you hear a statement like that, that's a big statement right there. And so when Kuz hears that, LeBron said that's going to give him even more confidence. And so that's good leadership. And I think Kuz is ready to be the third wheel, Rob.
For me, I look totally opposite for that. Because I go back to the beginning of the season when a lot of people came out, Kuz is going to be the third guy. Kuz has got to be the third guy. And now Kuz came out and put all this pressure on him. I like it better when Kuz is just, playing basketball and enjoying it. When he's not thinking about being free, exactly. So for me, I know LeBron is counting on him, but sometimes, you don't say it. You know, he understands that he wants to win a champ. He understands that he has to keep playing basketball. Now he's like, LeBron's looking over my shoulder, and you doing this.
Combining for 56 points. 9 of 21 for LeBron, 9 of 15 for AD. LeBron, 5 of 11 from 3. AD with 3 steals. Let's head back out to Orlando. Anthony Davis speaking with Mike in the media.
Hey, Anthony, can you take us through the read that you have to make there once you catch the inbounds pass from LeBron on that final play with Kuz popping out and LeBron rolling?
Just reading to see if both guys, go with Bron or if both guys go with Kuz. I seen that they kind of got confused and both went to Bron, and Kuz was wide open. So this is basically the read. But, we wanted Kuz to get the shot. But at the same time, still got to make a read just in case the defense, kind of messes up. They mess up on the right guy, and he was able to get open for a wide open shot.
Kuz said that he's always had this level of confidence. He happens to be playing behind, he called it the 2 best players in the NBA at his position. What have you seen in him, AD, since you've been his teammate, and how key do you think he could be for a playoff run?
It can be very key for us. He's always been confident, like you said. He's not afraid to take, or make big shots, as you can see tonight. He wants to guard the best player on the floor. He wants to take the challenges, and he's been great for us all year. He's getting into his rhythm on both ends of the floor, and like I say, he's going to be huge for us, especially in the playoffs.
Anthony, it's Dave. Even though you guys already had number 1 locked up, and Denver, were missing some guys and kind of pulled some of their starters late in the game, what does the win do for you, and does it, put some wind in your sails heading into the playoffs a week from now?
We just want to continue to get better, no matter who's on the floor. We want to continue to get better as a team and get a rhythm going into the playoffs. We knew that wasn't their finishing lineup, but we want to work on things that can help us get better. So it kind of gave us that feels good to get a win again. Just trying to figure out things the past couple games, and was able to put a complete game together tonight and seal a victory. But no matter who's on the floor, we want to make sure that we doing the right things and playing like this.